Hello, Internet! I'm back on the desert island intentionally this time because it has an incredible coastline to relax on. The waves sound so nice crashing against the shore. Isn't water just the coolest? With a genre that's been around as long as video games, quite a few tropes have surfaced throughout the years, from the grasslands at the start of your adventure to the final boss with multiple forms each stronger than the last. That being said, a lot of tropes aren't looked upon very favorably by the general gaming community, such as drawn-out tutorials or massive requirements for 100% completion. But which is the most disliked? Suffice it to say, water and video games don't mix. While it's a bit tricky to track down when exactly the two first mingled, the first game I could find with a dedicated water level was Atari's Jungle Hunt. This game actually had a lot of variety for the time, and nobody talks about it. To be fair, there's not much here. You swim up and down to avoid crocodiles, and you have an oxygen meter that you have to replenish by surfacing every once in a while. Keep that meter in mind, it'll be important later. Now, this is probably what comes to mind when thinking of early water levels. Super Mario Bros. Also has a lot of level variety, with some taking you through a warp pipe to Cheep Cheep and blooper-infested waters. The layouts are a lot more complex compared to Jungle Hunt, but you can't defend yourself against the enemies unless you have a Fire Flower. You also have to mash the jump button, making this a lot tougher than other levels. Hey, at least those guys can swim. Not every character has that luxury. Take Mega Man, for example. When he enters Bubble Man's stage, he controls pretty much the same, only really jumping higher. Makes it harder to avoid the spikes, but otherwise it feels pretty solid. The same cannot be said for Sonic the Hedgehog. Water takes all the speed out of him, as well as the oxygen. If he doesn't collect enough air bubbles, the most stressful song ever plays out before he drowns right in front of you. I think the reason a lot of water levels aren't very well liked is that they either hinder the main gameplay mechanics or fully split off from them entirely. You see this a lot in 3D platformers like Super Mario 64. This game thrives on Mario running and jumping around to explore the levels, but when you move around really slowly and need to surface over and over again, it makes exploring tedious. And if you look at Pac-Man World 2, the water levels there are auto-scrolling sections that aren't that bad, but also don't control anything like the main game and feel a bit out of place compared to the rest of what you play. With all of these water levels ranging from passable to pretty frustrating, are there any good ones out there? Well, let's look at Donkey Kong Country. At first it might seem fairly similar to the rest of these water levels, but the controls feel a lot more responsive, and the environments are so vibrant and diverse, really feeling alive. Experimenting with what can be done underwater can really help to make a level set there feel a lot more fun, and you can see a lot of it with games based around the ocean, such as Echo the Dolphin, which also controls really well. But I think my favorite water levels are found in the Starfy series. They're some of the most colorful and charming out there, and they mix above and underwater gameplay in a nice cohesive way. You know, water really isn't that bad. I don't know what I rushed in here for. You hear that, water? I'm not afraid of you!